So I got a question. How do you increase the speed? So I can't believe I didn't mention this, but for all turtle related, to find out all the things your turtles are trained in, right? Look up, basically, go ahead and search for Python 3 turtle, right? And if you do, it will come up with documentation. Over here, that first link should do it. And it's basically all about Python stuff, and it even includes a little program that says, hey, if you do this stuff, it will run over here. And then it says, like, here's all the commands that you can move, that you can call on the turtle to move, like forward, backwards, right, left, go to, set x, x, y, home, circle, dot and stamp, which we'll go through, and then relevant to what somebody asked me, speed, where the normal speed, and the speed is something that's between 1 and 10. 1 is the slowest, 10 is the fastest, okay? But if you give it a 1 is the slowest, 10 is fast, but if you give it a speed of 0, it will draw pretty much instantaneously. Speeds 1 through 10 are enforce animation. Speed 0 means no animation takes place. Instead, the turtle just kind of jumps from one spot to another, like a ninja, okay? He just kind of teleports. So if you if you look for turtle commands, you'll come up with this website. This is the official Python documentation over here. Another thing you can do with the pen is that you can tell it to put the pen up and down. So let's just I'm just going to experiment with that right over here. So here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say, so first I'm going to make the pen color go this way, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, if I mod 2 = 0, if we're even, bob.pen up. So Bob will take his pen up if it's even, else Bob will put his pen down. And now let's see how that modifies what I'm drawing. That's pretty interesting, right? He's only drawing the vertical lines, right? Because what I'm telling him to do is that anytime I is even, raise your pen, and anytime it's odd, put your pen down, right? And if his pen is up, he's not going to drag it along, right? Again, we're imagining that it's the turtle just kind of moving back and forth on this thing. So that's pretty cool. Yes. Specific question? Sure. And then I'm going to go back over there. Yes. So you do not want to make, so you need to delete this file, not make a turtle element. If you make a turtle element, when you import turtle, it will think, I need to import myself. And that program doesn't really have anything much in it. Gesundheit. All right. So let's see what else I can do with this. Okay. Let's see. So, by the way, if I create one turtle, there's not really anything that stops me from creating another. And so I'm going to create Alice, another turtle. Right? Notice that she's just going to be the arrow over there. That way we can keep them separate. And she doesn't move because I didn't tell her to do anything, right? I'm telling Bob to do all the commands. Right? So let's go ahead and notice that basically also she's not turtle shaped because I told Bob to be a turtle. And Bob's raising his pen and lowering it, right? So we get multiple entities on this board. So let's go ahead and put her in the loop. Alice.goto. Let's see what the goto command does. X and Y. All right, so let's go ahead and say 5 times I, 10 times I. And Alice is just kind of, notice that Alice doesn't turn because I didn't tell her to turn, right? I'm just telling her to go in a certain space. It looks like they're moving simultaneously, but that's because they're moving pretty fast. They're not actually moving simultaneously. It's giving them the command to do it, and then, they're just telling it to animate. Also, we can just kind of tell Alice to... If that's the case, by the way, again, notice that it didn't really change no matter what I told Alice to do. Alice.left. Let's go ahead and say Alice.turn left 30. Right? So whatever way Alice is facing, it doesn't really matter. So here she's just turning around as she moves. It doesn't change what she does at all because the go-to command just simply says, go to this XY location. Right? So she's just kind of spinning around there. All right, so let's see what else we can do with Alice. Let's go ahead and make it an actual diagonal line. And then also, Alice, we're gonna actually tell her to take her pen up. So she's not gonna have her pen. And then what she's gonna do is that I'm gonna tell her, Alice, go to this location, turn left, and then I want you to stamp. Stamp? What the heck does stamp do? That's pretty cool. So stamp basically means I'm going to get my turtle belly, covered with ink and then drop myself on the paper. Right? Kind of just belly flops itself on the paper, right? And makes an impression. Now, why is it curved like that? Right? Shouldn't she be moving in a straight line? She is moving in a straight line, but she's turning as she does so, right? So the arrow makes it look a bit different. So you can do some pretty intricate stuff with this. It's pretty fun. Let's go ahead and try one more thing we can do. Alice dot, let's see, is there a size? Sure, let's see what happens if we change her size. Make it equal to I. Let's see what happens. Turtle has no attribute size. Okay, so let's go ahead and look, right? Is there anything that looks like size? Right? See. Forward, back, set, get, home, clear, stamp, undo speed, pen settings, right? You can set the width of the pen, but can you set the width of the turtle? The appearance, shape size or turtle size. Shape. So 5. All right, so let's go ahead and say Alice dot turtle size is equal to I, and just leave that as that. Oh, stretch length must not be 0, so I plus 2, I plus 2. Now the answer is, now the question you might have, did I know this was going to happen? And the answer is no. But it gets some interesting behavior that's important to talk about for turtles. Notice that basically that when Alice moves and spins, that she overwrites whatever Bob's done. And when Bob goes over anything that Alice has colored, he overwrites what she's done. Right? Notice that those lines are over this, right? Whereas these lines are under this.
Okay, and the reason this is basically, remember, it's ink, right? So if you put ink on top of ink, we're just overwriting the ink here.
Although this is special ink that doesn't really mix once it's down.
Right?
All right. So that's what I've got for today. So let me just simply talk about what this means for the